Hey, what's good? I'm Jet Ski Chuck, and this is the most disturbing videos and theories that will keep you up all night. If you haven't already, please slap that like button because we got a lot to get into today. Hey, what's good? I'm Jet Ski Chuck, and this is the most disturbing. We're just waiting for everyone to get in here. Then we're gonna watch a couple videos, get this pot warmed up, some creepy and scary videos. Then you guys already know what time it is. It's time to go beyond the wall and dive more into it. The Giants. The reset. What's really going on? Shout out Eagle, Jesse, Sandy in the building. You better lock in and buckle up, bucko. Get some more people in here, and then we are going to get started, bucko. How's everyone's Friday going so far? Is my audio okay? It's Friday. You guys got any huge plans for the holidays? Kitty in the building. Casey, let's go. Nicole in the building. Stand up. Official Darkwater 9 members. Huge shout out Casey and Nicole. Buddha Mike. Hey. Y'all already know what time it is. We got some creepy videos to react to, then we're going right back into part 3. You guys already know. Ambassador Anthony A. Jones, Caribbean USA in the building. Stand up. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I need it. And if you aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit that button. We got lots of interesting stuff to talk about, and I'm excited. Yeah. How many people we got in here? Do we got enough? 94? That's good enough. We're in here. That's all we need. All right, guys. Let's get this live cracking. Huge shout out to Frostmare for this scary video comp we're about to go through to get things started. Let's go. Them drones, man, going crazy. The scariest video.
One night, Sarah Vargas was filming herself in her bathroom mirror when she started hearing strange noises from the apartment next door. The sounds kept getting louder and more worrying, and she kept recording, not knowing she would capture something truly out of the ordinary. As night fell, frightening screams broke the peace in the neighborhood. Sarah realized something serious was happening in the apartment next to hers. The police arrived while neighbors gathered in the street, thinking they were dealing with a fight between residents.
What is going on here?
But this idea quickly changed when one of the officers, now inside the apartment, called out through the window, asking if anyone could lend them a rosary.
Obviamente como que llamaron a alguien, llamaron a una monja para que les ayudara.
They later discovered that two young women had been using a Ouija board. During their session, one of them started behaving very strangely, as if something evil had taken control of her.
Rick Jones, what's good? I kind of see a little face up there.
Chica empezó como a vomitar tierra, como vomitar oscuro.
Witnesses reported that she began throwing up a dark substance that looked like dirt. The police could only confirm what they had seen and concluded that something supernatural appeared to be affecting the young woman. According to Sarah, the disturbing screams continued throughout the night before finally coming to an end. The events left both the people living nearby and the local police deeply troubled. The case was documented as what appeared to be an exorcism taking place, as they couldn't find any normal explanation for what they had witnessed.
I was gonna stray straight out of an exorcism movie.
During a routine night patrol, a night officer was stationed at an abandoned hospital undergoing renovations. The facility had a concerning history of unexplained events, which prompted management to maintain security presence despite the closure. What transpired during his shift would leave a lasting impression. While conducting his rounds through the darkened corridors, the officer began hearing distinct crying sounds echoing through the empty building. As he investigated the source of these unsettling noises, his equipment captured something unexpected. Given that the officer had confirmed he was alone,
Nicole says there's a new way of playing with the Adjua board. Speak to Siri or Chat GP. Speak in any artificial intelligence. You're speaking to demons. Damn.
in the building, and all entry points were secured. The presence of this shadow raised serious questions. The evidence he gathered that night suggested something beyond ordinary explanation. His footage showed a distinct dark shape moving through the hallway, though there was no apparent source for such a manifestation. The officer's documentation of the event, including time-stamped recordings and his written report, provided compelling evidence that something unusual had occurred in the vacant hospital. Was it a paranormal incident, perhaps?
I would not be messing around any hospital at night.
The hospital security team shared footage of something unsettling. After a young patient had died earlier that day, their cameras picked up what looked like the shadow of a small boy. The strange part was that this shadow appeared next to the bed of another boy who was just recovering from surgery. The security recording shows this dark figure standing still by the recovering patient's bed. What makes this even more concerning is hospital staff walking through this eerie shadow.
I was just about to say, it looked like he walked right through it.
The fact that this happened right after another child had passed away in the hospital raised questions about whether this could have been some kind of visit from beyond.
Oh yeah, it's coming,
After
XLR.
patrolling an empty warehouse for the last couple of nights, this man who was working night security had the feeling that something had followed him home. He was living alone and had been experiencing strange events, leading him to document everything. At 4 a.m., while doing tasks at home, he started hearing sounds from the basement.
Alright. So that right there is my basement door, right?
Oh yeah, I think
I'm
we've seen
downstairs
this
by
one.
myself. It's like 4:53 in the morning, and I just started hearing that. I have no idea what it is, but I'm down here by myself. Just me. Ain't the first time I heard shit either.
It seemed like someone or something was knocking insistently on the basement door. The man decided to avoid the door, thinking it best to ignore whatever unknown thing was there. But the strange activity came back, this time in another part of the house.
That wall right there, which is my downstairs bathroom. And after a while, I started hearing tapping on the bathroom door as well. So, what else? Record. See if anything else happens. I mean, I hear the shit every night. It's okay, that's never happened before. Now I have to go check it out, otherwise you guys are gonna be like, oh, it's probably somebody in there. Let's go see. I'll show you guys right now. Ain't nobody in this one there. And it is empty. Yeah, no, that one was weird. That's never actually happened before. That's new, at least.
The man showed there was no one in the bathroom. But what's creepy is that while he was inside, the shower curtain moved right after he turned to leave. But this wasn't the end, it was just the beginning. 2 nights later, something else happened.
You guys are lucky. You wanted it, right? There it is. Ain't me knocking on. Ain't nobody down here, right?
Yeah, okay. This was from a different. I seen this on a different YouTube video, but yeah, this is definitely the same dude, I believe.
I can hear it. Now, you guys are gonna say, "Oh, it's somebody in there. It's an animal."
I don't even hear anything, but I remember this when we were like, "Oh, this might be a raccoon in there."
Late one night, a security guard was wrapping up his shift at the UPS parking lot, where his duties included checking the parked delivery trucks. Other employees had reported unsettling experiences there, seeing strange shadows and hearing odd sounds, like someone following behind them. The guard, aware of these stories, had started recording his rounds just in case anything unusual happened. During one of his final checks that night, something unexplainable occurred.
I'm trying to tell y'all these UPS trucks are like they're like ghosts, man. You can't trust these things. You gotta be careful because every time I'm at this place, I freaking hear a bunch of weird, crazy noises. Stuff be opening by itself. See, yeah, it's time to go. Y'all think I'll be playing, bro? This will be crazy. So
Just seconds after he'd locked up one of the trucks, its inside door suddenly opened on its own. The guard insisted he had secured that door completely, making it impossible for it to open by itself. What made things even more disturbing was that as he moved away from the truck, strange noises began coming from inside the empty vehicle.
Yo, welcome Kelly as an official buckled up bucko. Welcome Kelly.
I'm trying to tell y'all these UPS trucks are like they're like ghosts, man. You can't trust these things. You gotta be careful because every time I'm at this place, I freaking hear a bunch of weird, crazy noises. Stuff be opening by itself. See, yeah, it's time to go. Y'all think I'll be playing, bro? This will be crazy.
The incident raises an unsettling question. Was this actual evidence of something supernatural in the parking lot? Or was this an elaborate prank being played on the security guard?
Could be a prank.
A night security officer at an old hospital shared this concerning incident. While guarding the entrance, she started hearing unsettling voices echoing through the empty hallways. She felt an unexplained presence around her during her shift. Then something strange happened.
Esto lo voy a dejar registrado porque fue 16 de diciembre, 11 de la noche. Bueno, mira, esta wea está pasando hace mucho rato y yo acá estoy sola, weón. No hay nadie. Concha tu madre.
Her footage shows a wheelchair moving by itself along the corridor. The officer had confirmed she was alone on that floor, and all windows were closed at the time. The security footage hasn't been tampered with according to the timestamps, but whether this was truly paranormal activity, or if there's another explanation, remains unclear.
No, that's crazy. That wheelchair just getting up and moving. Something's not right.
Two night officers who got hired to keep watch over an abandoned hospital for the next few months. While working their shifts, they ran into some weird noises in the middle of the night, and they heard other guards talking about seeing shadows moving around in there before. Things got really strange when they started checking out different areas of the hospital, and that's when they both began recording everything.
なんか女の人の声とかめっちゃ聞こえるから本当ここ相性悪いんだろうな。
Why do you need a security guard in this place? It already looked abandoned.
喋ることがないか。
One of the guards heard footsteps coming from one of the empty rooms, so he rushed over to check who was there. But he found nobody around. The weird thing is, during the exact moment when the guard was in that room hearing those footsteps, you can clearly see someone walking up the stairs on the left side. When they looked at the footage more closely, they found something even more chilling. While the guard was patrolling the second floor, he suddenly started hearing a woman's voice.
You could barely see those footsteps at the end, but there were footsteps. Heard a slight voice, nothing crazy. I thought they were in Mexico. What's with the
Right
laugh?
after that, he heard this really creepy laugh, which scared him so much he ran straight out of the building. When you look at the regular footage without enhancing it, it's hard to see clearly, but there's definitely some strange figure standing in the background. This figure wasn't moving at all. You can definitely tell that someone or something was there with them that night. The big question is, was it the same one they spotted on the stairs just before? Or could these have been spirits making them?
My thing is, it's always on like the corner of your eye. Like if you did see something, it'd be like right outside your peripheral, and as soon as you look, it's gone. That's just my thing.
Who was working at another abandoned hospital. He had just started his job there, since the building was going to be torn down in a few weeks. During his shift, he caught something strange on camera.
なんかいる感じするもんね。ガラスの、ガラスのとこになんか白い影みたいな。見えないですよ、あれ。なんだろうな。あれじゃ階段。さあ行ってみたい。あいました。
What you're seeing is a wheelchair moving all by itself, which definitely isn't normal. Some people think a ghost, or maybe the spirit of someone who used to be a patient, might have been pushing it. Could this really be possible?
Why is it always the wheelchairs though?
Ricardo Orella shared a story about one of his female colleagues who works as a security guard in Ecuador. According to him, this hospital has been the site of many unexplained events over the years. While this guard was having a conversation with another hospital employee, she happened to record something really strange.
Ajá. ¡Ah! La acomodó, la acomodó.
This one looks kind of convincing because this time it's like he's scrubbed up, and they saw something crazy going on, so they were trying to capture it. So I don't know.
Even now, they still can't figure out what might have caused what they caught on camera.
Oh, Steve, that's why it's always wheelchairs. I got you. Good point.
While working his shift at an old Mexican hospital, a security guard spotted something strange moving through the halls. He managed to record the mysterious dark figure as it slipped into one of the rooms. What happened next left him shocked. The figure simply vanished without a trace. After searching the entire building, they couldn't find anyone who could explain what he saw. Some people think he might have caught a real shadow creature on camera. But what do you think?
Didn't look like a cat, but I couldn't tell you.
This was captured by an officer one night who was taking a local highway. He didn't notice anything out of the ordinary up until this point, but when the incident occurred, he saw a dark flickering object just standing in the middle of the road. An object that had human-like features based on his reports, and it becomes quite apparent that even the other drivers saw it too. It is not that easy to make out, but you can actually see the outlines of a shadow person that just appears on the road, and the cars are doing their best to avoid impact, making them swivel quite a bit, especially the car on the left.
You could tell that they saw something because you did see the swerve. You can faintly see him, but he shows up for like a split second. Sheesh, drive safe, guys. Especially if you're on this ice out here.
What's weird is that the cars in front don't seem to react all that much. Maybe that's because this thing appears right after the cars in the front have passed it. The driver says that he did not see anything up until he was about to hit this thing, making him believe that it could have been an actual spirit that manifested. Could this be so? How else could anybody end up on the middle of the road like that? Strange.
He said dude had a Tesla. Alright guys, let's get a couple more of these in. We're not going to do this whole video, but we're going to get a couple more of these in, and then you guessed it, part 3 for the main event.
The following recording was captured by traffic camera in Wessex, Britain, on which a pretty unusual creature was supposedly captured. It's not uncommon for the authorities to capture some wildlife every so often. Today's video, though, was a bit different.
Did y'all see that? That was a skinwalker.
We can see a busy road, and then a weird creature appearing from the left side out of the darkness and scampering over all 4 lanes of the highway within a few seconds. What's weird about this incident is the creature's legs that are bending inwards, making many believe that we are dealing with a rather inexplicable creature here. Some say that it even looks a little bit humanoid, causing some to believe that we are dealing with another shapeshifter here. Could this be? It's really hard to say what's going on for sure, but it makes one wonder.
Welcome, Diana. It looks like I wanted to say deer, but it's like way too skinny to say it's a deer. And it only had 2 limbs by the looks of it.
Now we'll check back in with Simon Lockhart, who works the night shift as a night officer in an aging office building. Since he started working there, he's run into some seriously scary situations.
This office building is just too fucking big. I can't.
Yeah, Joe, like a human was running. That one was crazy.
Especially being here alone. Oh my god.
Oh,
my
that was
god.
pretty long.
Oh my god. Holy.
Say.
Yeah, we do got a pretty I say the best community on YouTube if you ask me.
It's dark.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Oh. I can't be in this building anymore, bro. Garbage. I'm up here, dude.
So I guess this is what he was running from.
In the office right now? What is that? What is that? It looks like a woman wearing a black dress.
Oh,
And it's right outside. What is that? There's nothing. There's
Rick
nothing
Jones,
there.
I was gonna say.
And all the lights in the parking lot mysteriously shut off. That there's nothing out there. There's nothing should be
He said he
out
needs
there.
some sleep. How could he get sleep? And he's got these ghosts keeping him up all night on his night shift. But you could see the black circles around his eyes.
he never found out what this mysterious shape was. The following video was recorded by Brian Barranco, who states that in this video we see him and a couple of team members making it into a supposedly haunted hospital. A lot of strange things have been seen in there in the past, even after the hospital had shut down recently, and the group made one big mistake, performing a ritual to contact the spirit world.
Why would you do this?
Uy, me movieron esa silla. Sí. Entonces, ¿quieres que yo me vaya? Voy a firmar la silla porque van a decir que es hilos, ¿no? Gonorrea, 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 gonorrea. ¡Ay! Se me puso la piel de gallina parica. Escucho sillas de ruedas. ¿Eres un hombre? Marica, la luz. ¡Ay! ¡Mire la luz allá, huevón! ¡Ah! Momentico. Apagaron la luz. Voy para allá.
I was gonna say that plant looked like something from far back, but I guess it wasn't. Huh.
Cerrar una puerta. Uy. ¡Hueputa! 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 Oscar, 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 Oscar.
¿Qué pasó?
Marica, había un niño, huevón.
¡Hueputa, hueputa, 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 hueputa!
Now, did they capture the spirit of a child? The following is a CCTV recording, which was supposedly also captured in this hospital. This was a few weeks before the place shut down, and security was still patrolling regularly. About it, he wrote, "My father, well,
Alright, y'all. This is the last one, and we get into the main event.
This is another nightly security encounter captured by a young man who was patrolling the upper levels in his local hospital. He wasn't a believer in the paranormal at all, and apparently had captured this encounter purely by chance. What caused all of this? He heard some unexplained noises from the empty wing of the upper floors, and this was when the recording started.
Alright guys, I'm at the empty floors. I was hearing some noise coming up right now. It's kind of freaking me out, so I'm gonna be filming a little bit. Saying some.
We see a strange shadow figure standing behind one of the chairs right in front of the window, and the young man didn't know if he actually saw this thing at the time, or if it was just a trick of the eye. Pretty eerie, isn't it? But then there was another shadow seen at the end of the hallway that went completely unnoticed. Is it safe to say that ghosts are roaming this empty wing? The following clip is part of another video.
Yeah, guys, there was something straight up there menacingly, I'm not gonna lie. But this is what I wanted to see. This creepy creature. Alright, this is the last video they got. Okay. Let me go to the very end. Alright, yep, this is it.
The following clip is part of another video.
Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. This is the last video, creepy and scary video, then we're diving into some more disturbing theories. You already know.
That the uploader could unfortunately not retrieve. He states that he saw a small shape enter through the entrance door, which sent an alert to his phone, and then it was seen running through his bedroom.
Like a little demon. What is that?
He thought at first it was a child. However, it was of course impossible for anybody to enter the house without opening a door, which is why he believes that something paranormal was captured here. This was shared by a family of a police officer who states that they saw a horrible figure stumbling through their driveway, and after checking, they couldn't find anybody there.
This is what I was trying to see. Look at this crazy thing. What is this?
You see his face clearly. Right there.
So, do you think this was just a confused person? Maybe somebody homeless? Or was it indeed something more inexplicable?
Rumac in the building with the $5. Let's go. Huge shout out to Rumac. Official Dark Waters 9 Explorer in the building. Let's go, y'all.
If you found this video creepy, check out the following one.
But yeah, that's creepy, man. What do y'all think this is? We got another skin crawler, somebody, but look how white it's showing up on the CCTV. So it's like, it's hard to say if someone's human. Is it got a beard? What is this? A skin crawler? I don't know. Y'all tell me. We had to dive in, get the pot warm, and see what was going on those videos. Shout out to King Frostmare for those videos. But I'm excited to get back into this book. I'm trying to get back into this book. You guys remember what happened? We're putting a nice little dent. What are we on? Chapter 10? The domes. Man, we're into giant territory now, man. I'm excited to read this. You guys ready? All right. Let me run to the bathroom super quick, and then we gonna get started. Huge shout out Rumac and all the new members and subscribers. Get yourself something to drink because we're about to dive in. This book is called The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Walls. This is just part 1. We got a 3-series book from this, and then we're going to cross-reference a lot of this stuff because they're talking about one world Tartaria. They're saying Tartaria back in the day was friends with giants here in Inner Earth, and it was Earth's best chance against the Custodians is what we're learning. So we got a lot of cross-referencing to do with Tartaria, which is I found interesting. But let your boy run upstairs real quick, and then we about to get started. Huge shout out Rumac and all the new subscribers. And yeah, you guys know what's up. Hey, happy birthday, Tanner by the Sea. Thought I didn't see that. Huge shout out to my boy. Joe with the 149. Let's go. Let's go, y'all. Huge happy birthday shout out to my boy Tanner by the Sea. But yeah, just a quick recap, guys, before we dive into this book again. They're talking about multiple resets happening. Giants used to be in it with the Tartarians. You know? We need to talk about this. Go check out my song Ice Wall on YouTube later. Tanner by the Sea. Check out my song Ice Wall on YouTube later. Oh yeah, we definitely gonna check that out. All right, guys, before I get into this book, Templar reset is 2030. It's known. How is that known? We're going to be diving into this book. I just want to say this is for entertainment purposes only. This is just a book, a fictional book that we're reading. That's all it is. All right? Do your own research on everything. None of this has been fact checked. I don't know how deep it's going to go tonight, guys. It might get extremely deep. The reason I'm saying that is because I want you to eat the meat and spit out the bones. You know, don't believe everything you hear. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, you know, if you got ears to hear, let them hear. All right. The domes, the learning of the worlds beyond the ice walls. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, buckos and buckarettes. It's time. All right, let me pull up. Where are we reading? We in the fire? Is this where we at, guys? Are we reading in the fire? Colton, hold the phone. The 499. Let's go, y'all. I'm gonna start a goal. If we get 5 more super chats in the next hour, we'll hit the backflip. Snowmobile backflip. It's this new thing YouTube's doing. I should have did it earlier. Snowmobile backflip. All right, guys, I'm starting the goal. If we get 5 super chats in the next hour, we're hitting the snowmobile backflip. All right, let me get back to this book. Where we at, guys? We got options. Stop playing with us. Do you guys want a little background music? Where we going? We going on the oh, y'all not supposed to see the spaceship yet. But this is the spaceship. I still need to work on it. I got a little bit too much graphics I see on it. But matter of fact, let me just remove that. I'll work on that in another date. The snowmobile backflip. We're 1 out of 5 now. The 499. Colton going crazy. We need 4 more super chats for that snowmobile backflip. You a real one, Colton. But all right, we can be by the fire. Let me turn the fire up so you can hear it. And I was checking out some music. Let me see how this is. Yeah, that's not too bad, is it? Keep it down real low, just so it's like under the crackling almost. Just let me know if y'all want it off or not. We'll just try it out. Let's get to it. I've never been so excited about reading in my entire life. This is probably the most excited I've been reading, besides jumping into like a cheat code book for my PlayStation 2 Grand Theft Auto, 3 game or something, Reading just isn't hitting, but now it's hitting. Let's get to it, y'all. The domes. The learning of the worlds beyond the ice walls. The past of the giants, or the giant humans, was hidden forever. Their technology and bones. Quoting with the 1999. Oh my goodness. I rocks with you, Chuck. We are literally, that should be it. That is huge. That 1999 is huge, man. This one's for you, Colton. We gotta hit this. We gotta, before we go, this one's for Colton, man. He's supporting the cause. I listen. Hey, good luck, Colt. I had to hit that for my boy Colt. He went crazy. We're 3 away from another one, just to let y'all know. All right, let's get to it. The past of the giants, or the giant humans, was hidden forever. Their technology and bones were as sadly hidden and forgotten as the greatness of their history, and new discoveries of giants will be today, and in the future, simply ridiculed, some even intermingled with beasts that never inhabited these lands, the eternal known lands, where their oceans are stained with ancestral blood, which could have changed everything. Guys, when they say the eternal known lands where their oceans are stained with ancestral blood, which could have changed everything, the known lands is us. And super really quick, let me show you something. Fire Marshal Bill. All right. Blood Falls. They says the known lands is stained with ancestral blood, right? Well, tell me what this is. Tell me what that is. Yeah, you look it up. They might say iron deposits. But last time I checked, I'm pretty sure iron is inside of blood. Am I wrong? Am I right? And we don't know really the chemical structure of giants' blood. We don't know how much iron is in it. So when they say ancestral blood is stained in the known lands for entertainment purposes, I take that literally. Iron is in blood. Yes, sir. You are 100% correct. Joe, behemoth blood. Fire Marshal Bill, I told you I had to show you something. The Blood Falls. Blood Falls seeps from the end of Taylor Glacier into Lake Boone. The tent at left provides a sense of scale of just how big this thing is. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that was a tent. To the right, if you look to the right of the lake, to the left of the lake, you'll see a small tent. My mouse cursor isn't popping up. but it's right under this thing that's flashing. Look below that. That is where the 10 is. Templar Knight with the 3 euros. Good looking. I'm gonna spend that in UK soon. Shout out to all my people in UK. But look at how small, so that means this thing is massive. This just isn't like a little stained portion of some snowbank. This is damn near blood gushing out of the mountainside. Okay, are you with me? Because look at how small that 10 is. All right, I'm gonna keep going. And let me read that part one more time, because that really hits for me, man. It says, the eternal known lands where their oceans are stained with ancestral blood, which could have changed everything. Could this been an ocean that got froze over? I don't know. The Custodians made a pact. Never the humans of the new reset could know. How do they know that? The Custodians made a pact. Never the humans of the new reset could know that a force was possible to defeat his invisible colonizer. Are these the Archons and the reptilians? Higher ups? He would not even know this time that there was a force above that controlled his lands and his environment, that made him live an empty life, where the messages would be based on his exploration of all kinds. He degraded spirit. In this chapter, we will see the origin of the human being, an essential being with infinite spiritual potential, as well as why the other races are interested in him. Those who want to keep them in almost unbearable oppression, and those who want to make them escape towards the immense spiritual freedom. Is this possible? The previous day had been so important that I had not even fallen into a world of dreams until my body tried to reconcile in a strange night of sky illuminated by the mysterious and huge full moon. It was so hard to sleep that the whole group stayed up until what we imagined was very late, even though we did not sleep and see the sun peek out before finally getting a wink of sleep. Kitty G super chatted the $2. Let's go, bucko. We need it. Conversations obviously resolved around everything that had been happening to us, but especially like the little we had been informed had already fallen like a fierce storm overseas. Our minds by then, we were mere vessels in search of survival. The storm was the truth that not only fell on our face and plunged into our interior, but also generated the most gigantic waves that made each of us reel abruptly. Have they conducted our minds so much we repeated to ourselves over and over? Have they conditioned our minds so much we repeated over and over again? Is this story real? But how can we doubt this story when all of the lands behind the ice walls? And there, with the same ancient giant humans, I think from so much analysis, we passed out until a few hours. Butler woke us up when we came out of the domes that managed a strange temperature that seemed to be regulated. It was always cool in there, and outside the heat was sometimes unbearable. These were fruits of all kinds. We have never ever seen or tasted most of them. Some vegetation peeping out of the distance also had strange colors that were hard for me to decipher. Shiki was wearing a very colorful and summery dress. Her face was more beautiful in the sunlight. I think several of the group had been enwrapped by her mere presence. This is the 7-foot, 8-foot Amazonian, how they describe her. I think, was she redheaded? Yeah. How we doing? Everybody good? Music good? Fire crackling? You got your marshmallows and s'mores? If not, I got some extras here. I got some extra s'mores over here. I got some Reese's. I know they ain't good for you, I know, but I got the Reese's, I got the crackers, I got the graham crackers and the marshmallows, so you can have Reese's s'mores or you can make regular s'mores, whatever you want. Hot cocoa's there. It's, hey, mi casa su casa. Shout out to the Templar Knight for the 369 Mafia status. You out cold for that donation. All right. After breakfast, we were able to have a private chat together with Butler, and Shiki began to tell me other details of the book and the history of the races. Yesterday, I told you about the so-called Old Treaty, which was made between parts of the Custodians and the Anunnaki. What were they looking for with that treaty? That sounds like the Antarctic Treaty, doesn't it? What are they looking for with this treaty? I dared to ask. I think that this question even came from within me, driven by the same anxiety to know everything, but it also generated the same way to what was going to be, without a doubt, a unique conversation. Shiki continued her narrative by saying, William, first, you have to know that the Custodians and the Anunnaki have something in common. And that which unites them is that their technology is primarily based on armaments and military developed because they are the colonizers from birth. When they arrived in a certain circle, they look for ways to penetrate it and see how they can benefit. Study the life found there. If it serves them, they could own it, create different arguments for the benefit is in development. In fact, it is the seed that they implanted in the ancient humans. The Custodians are also known for their advanced ships and for being among the few to know the 178 worlds of circles around the known. The worlds beyond the ice wall. The Custodians know about it. What's that about the Great Dome? What does it mean? I asked innocently. William, each circle is divided by one of the several different domes, depending on what encompasses the circle. This dome, oh guys, this is the part that got muted. They muted this part back when we were trying to figure it out. So this is juicy, y'all better lock in. It says, William, each circle is divided by one of the several different domes. Hold on, we need this picture out. I hope I got it. I hope I got this picture for you to see, 'cause it makes a lot of sense. Beyond ice wall. We need to see all of it. We need to see it all. We want to see the entire scope. Guys, this is important. And I can't pull it off. Because they don't. Oh, here it is. I got to show you. Run it back. Okay. This is what I gotta show you guys. All right, while she's explaining it, now I'm gonna read it. William, each circle is divided by one of several different domes, depending on what encompasses that circle. This dome is kind of a membrane that divides a system. This information is very advanced for the time where you came from, but I imagine you have heard of the cellular theory. These circles, we could roughly compare them to what we call a cell and its plasma membrane. This dome membrane is a wall invisible to our eyes, although some races can make it out, that divides two systems that are similar or may differ in their totality, but have connections in different parts. What we know from the information taken from the Custodians is that all circles of the worlds that are known have some connection between the inner and outer system, except one, which is considered the most important and which led just to this old treaty between the Custodians and the Anunnaki. These races are adept at manipulating environments, as they have sufficient technology to do so within the dome of any known world. These connections between inner and outer worlds are not simple to find, but the races have managed to get out, and those that base their technological advances both in conquest or in their mission to explore make long journeys with the reason to gather information from other worlds, also develop different types of systems to find the way to find those entrances and exits more easily. There are also portals that connect different lands, but that is another subject that you will discover throughout your stay outside your homelands and how much of the technology works here. Damn. So they just confirmed portals, y'all. So they're like, yeah, and we got portals. You know, you just haven't seen them, but we got them. Don't worry, you're going to see them. So all the Stargate theories here on Earth, could these Stargates go beyond these continents? Could these Stargates put us in the Gardens of Eden, the Islands of Eden, or these different lands beyond the wall? They're not just, these Stargates weren't just made for the inner lands, for entertainment purposes only. What is y'all thoughts on that? There are also portals that connect different lands, but that is another subject that you will discover throughout your stay outside your homelands and how much of the technology works here. Now that circle I was telling you about, the 178 known ones, was impossible for them to access, even using the most advanced custodial technology, and then this became their obsession. These lands where no one could enter, or at least no one could enter and get out there alive, are the celestial lands. And as each custodial attempt was throttled, an agreement made the Anunnaki to jointly develop technology that could open a way inside and unveil the mystery of what was there. The reason for the obsession with the rumor that in the celestial lands would be found the secret that would lead to being able to penetrate the Great Dome. This divides the worlds from the outside. Damn. So they're trying to go to the celestial lands to, sounds like they're trying to penetrate the firmament. That's what it sounds like. What do you mean by the Great Dome? The question came from inside me without wanting to interrupt, but with the anxiety that all this generated in me. Of this Great Dome, we have very little information that we were able to gather from the Custodians. What we know so far is that Kelly with the $5, thank you. That is huge. Thank you, Kelly. Of this great dome, we have very little information that we are able to gather from the Custodians. What we know so far is that it would be a great dome that envelops 178 worlds inside, where the theory goes that no way out or in has ever been found, and there is no information regarding what lies beyond. The Custodians and Anunnaki work together with their great scientists to carry out never before seen development, basing their technology entirely on discovering the impenetrable celestial lands, celestial earths. What would be found there? On that question, they based their development on long years to come. They reached a point where their technology had advanced exponentially, so much that they were able to pass through the first dome, but another problem arose. The beings that passed through the first dome died, pulverized almost instantly. They found no answer to this and tried various ways in which to use the various races, but they all died in the same way. Later, in the extensive study of such lands, that came to the conclusion that within did not exist physical bodies, but a conscious energy, which they called the source, or the source of life. The theory goes that energy began to perceive the danger of the custodials and the Anunnaki technology and acted accordingly to safeguard its environment. Then in the conscious energy split, taking the body of the 5 masters who gave life to the human beings occupied the lands around your homelands. They first started with Asgard to the north, a remote place bonded by mountain areas, very difficult to discover. Then as they developed, they took the lands of Lemuria, Atlantis, and the center lands, which they called Hyperborea, with in turn had direct connection to outside worlds with Asgard, their land of origin, by means of connecting portal. So now we're talking about Lemuria, Atlantis. A lot of people say the United States is Atlantis. So could that be what they're referring to? I don't know. Uh-oh, this is getting good, y'all, ain't it? This is for entertainment purposes only. Do not believe everything you're hearing in this book. It is a fictional book, and we're just reading it. Do your own research. Look at the next chapter, though. The giant humans and the great tartarians. Woo! Y'all hit that like button. What are you doing here? Hit that like button. This is getting juicy. They penetrating domes. They penetrated the first dome, and then they got vaporized. They're like, oh, we can't do that. Damn right you can't do that. Stop it. Sounds like, what's that? What is it called? Sounds like Operation Fishbowl all over again. Are they telling us Operation Fishbowl right then and there? Where are y'all at? Are y'all talking to me? Chuck, you can't break it. Guys, this is strictly for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. All right, y'all ready? Templar Night, go on. We're not going anywhere, brother. Alright, we're gonna keep going. Let me read it one more time. You're not ready. You're not ready. The great humans and the great Tartarians. Based on what we've read, this was the only team that was able to stop the Custodians and the Anunnaki. Do we not see it? In these buildings, we don't know what they are. Hold on, let me cook. We see these buildings. This was the Custodians' greatest threat. You guys see these buildings. And we got all the proof of the giants that used to be here. Look at these buildings they used to make. We can't make them like this anymore. Let me cook. Ooh, this is a good one. Look at that. This was the greatest threat to the Custodians and Anunnaki. The giants and the Tartarians working as one. You know how you'll see those giant doors on some of those Tartarians? These buildings, you'll see some giant doors. Oh no, we need a giant door. Let me cook. That's all I want to do is cook right now. That's all I want to do is cook. Look at these giant doors. This is on inner Earth, where we stay. Do you think this door was made for people in between 5 and 7 foot? No. These were for giants. Look. How many do you need to see? There's over 500 of them everywhere. They was forming some type of team to take down the Custodians and the Anunnaki. This was their biggest threat. They had the technology. We could see the buildings. All right, it's time to dive in. You're not ready for this, but you got no choice, bucko. Nothing mattered around here more than all this information I was receiving from Shiki. It was incredible just to imagine where I was and that a surviving gladiator who had also helped our ancestral humanity to survive was telling me in great detail about the true human history. Shiki then continued, these men animated with the vital energy of the source began to increase in numbers as well as in technology. First they based their technology on the race development and welfare, although later they came to develop defense weapons, but they never reached the same custodial level. One fateful and dark night, the Custodians penetrated the known lands and found abundant gold and other minerals. In this eagerness, they traveled through every point of these lands, arriving to discover outside the first dome, between the zone and high mountains, the famous lands of Asgard, and with them, they also collided with the humans living there. This group of Custodians were surprised by the light defense weapons that attacked and automatically pulverized the enemy, igniting an alarm to the other lands inhabited by humans. What was feared was really happening, and by then the energy of the celestial lands that animated bodies of human beings were not prepared to face them. Moreover, the custodians outnumbered the humans by 1,000 to 1. That sounds like a parasite or something, doesn't it? Like the flood on Halo or something. Then, a few days later, the inevitable happened. Humans surrounded them. This was the beginning of a great nightmare that would last until the present day. But why didn't they behave as one? Other worlds were looting as many minerals as they needed was enough to march on. Simple. They tried to send humans to the celestial lands as a test. It was not strange to think so, since they had tried it also with other races. Although the human bodies burned as soon as they entered these lands, they noticed how the energy that lived inside them always went directly to the celestial lands, no matter where this body met death. In this way, the Custodians and Anunnaki have been studying the human being since ancient times. All that effort and development to enter these lands now turn to the possibility that through the human as the fundamental vehicle it could be achieved. But there was a missing connector that was not simple at all, and this was the power to manipulate the souls or energy that left human bodies. But that was never possible. At first they performed the ancient and cruel colonization of lands carried out by these beings in a general way. Most of the population is inhibited, leaving only their newborn babies. Then comes the education necessary to give the new colonized the purpose or function that the custodians desire. This government funding education, anyone? This attempt to use the humans to enter such lands led to countless numbers of beings seamlessly. In fact, in the past, resets led to the sacrifice of many humans together to see if they could manipulate this great energy at will. The great and well-known blood rituals of past civilizations. Damn, so they're doing rituals for resets now? Oh, man. This is, if you didn't know, you're officially in Dark Waters 9 now. If you didn't know, we're here. And as I was saying, rituals, diseases, catastrophes, they tried everything, but nothing worked. They even tried to resurrect bodies and a lot of different things. So these custodians got their full metal alchemists on and was doing forbidden, all different types of blasphemy. What happened next is not clear. Some historians say that they're simply concluded with the control of humanity to continue trying to enter, and others say that only continue to do so for fear that the humans can defeat them, because they see in them a unique and immense potential among the many existing worlds. For this reason, they can control them with the resets, and then the famous lies in the education shorten their life, create plagues, diseases, and misery. But you are so important that they are not going to let you go just like that, because inside each one of you, the source, which is the most important thing, which keeps alive all other beings in the circles. So this source sounds a lot like the Holy Spirit. The giants saw all this from the outside, and they never got involved in these wars. But then in the time, they decided to help humanity, as they realized that if this source fell, probably the 178 circle environments would fall as well. Here again, it is not clear whether the Custodians tried to use any race of giants for the same mission of accessing the celestial lands, since it is said that they tried all their races they could find among the 178 worlds. After a while, the Custodians lost interest in the humans as they began to believe that this energy or soul that came out of the humans' bodies are returned to the celestial lands, where not the same energy, or that failing that if it was the same, they had no way to manipulate it. It is also the Anunnaki began in the crisis in the environment due to the lack of gold and minerals essentials for their development. What to use then? They began to use newly reset. What to use then? They began to use the newly reset human to be able to extract the gold from the harsh and deep interterrestrial darkness. What better way than to make them believe that they were their gods and that they could have worship in obedience to what they required? The period of creation of many of the known pyramids was carried out at this time by the humans themselves with the help of the custodial technology. So the pyramids was built with technology now. These pyramids were nothing more than energy generating centers. I knew it! Which served to control the human, generate catastrophes if they wanted to. They also tried by this means to control souls again and failed in a way. So you mean these pyramids was like some type of supercomputer generator that was able to create resets? Let me read that again. The period of creations of many of the known pyramids was carried out at this time by the humans themselves with the help of the custodial technology. These pyramids were nothing more than energy generating centers which served to control humans and generate catastrophes if they wanted to. They also tried this in the means to control the souls again and failed. So they're like, all right, we're generating a lot of energy with these pyramids. Let's see what we can do with the soul. They just was experimenting. If we look at all the Egyptians back in the day and like how they be buried with like their, what's it called? Their, I forgot the name, their organs and stuff, and how they get mummified. You know, it makes you think, you know, they might have really been trying to continue their life, you know, with those experiments. Because if you look at Anubis, what was Anubis? The bridge to the afterlife or something like this? What if they were really trying to do these wicked experiments, y'all? Y'all with me? Joe, Jason, Templar, Brandon, what's good? That's what the holes and chambers are for. I wonder if they're going to explain the catacomb. When is the catacombs going to pop up in here? But I always knew something was up with those pyramids, y'all. What do y'all think? Hit that like button. There's 430 of us in here. What do y'all think about the pyramids, man? The giant, we knew pyramids would be something powerful. We knew that, but we didn't know for what. You know what I'm saying? These boys was vibrating. Imagine a giant pyramid just. They had to get all these pyramids in sync with the stars to try to start a new reset by the sounds of it. Keisha, Melody. We deep, man. We super deep. The Naki pyramids were deliberately spread over the known lands and the other lands. It was another ancient way of colonizing the lands. They leave pyramids as a form of warning of colonized lands, a kind of badge for any intruder entering without permission. It was known that they were feared that some colonizing race, or what would be even worse for them, a race that would liberate an existing colony, liberate the existing colonies, could exist and come from outside the Great Dome. The Custodians and Anunnaki began to confront again, now for control of the known lands. Damn, so they saying these pyramids was like trophies, like y'all better not mess with us. A pyramid, this is what they said that their pyramids were for. If you just open your door and you see a pyramid, the day it was constructed, those were constructed, the pyramid was constructed for warning to other colonizers. Like, look, we came beyond the dome and look what we can do. And all we got to do is turn this bad boy on. We really don't know what the pyramids truly look like because we just see the bones and the bricks. But as far as we know, we're just looking at the foundation of the pyramids. We're not seeing the lights and, what was on top and everything, humming and working. You know what I'm saying? We're just seeing a fossil of the pyramid. We're not seeing it when it's really working. Yeah, most pyramids never ever had any body. I can't believe people think pyramids was a tomb. Yeah, it's deep if you think about it. And if you want to get even more deep on it, answer me this, bucko. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Come here. I got something to show you. Let me show you something. Fire Marshal Bill. Let me show you something. Fire Marshal. Ooh, here it is. I love my job. You know how Joker was in the back of the semi and he said, I love my job. Damn it, I love my job too. Explain this. Explain these melted steps in this pyramid on the lower levels at that. Do you know how powerful, how hot a pyramid has to be for steps to literally melt? Stone to melt? You tell me. What is going on? It was like some type of ancient war. If you ask me, it was definitely some type of ancient war for this to take place. Where y'all at? Y'all ain't here, man. Y'all don't hear me. The period of creation of many known pyramids was carried out by this time by the humans themselves with the help of the custodian technology. So, custodian technology. Were they flying in UFOs? Were they using these different vibration frequencies from the UFOs to pick up these large stabs? Did they have some type of CNC cutter on the underside of the UFO that projected upon stone so we can get these very intricate cuts? I don't know, but it makes you think. These pyramids was nothing more than energy generating centers, which served to control the human and generate catastrophes if they wanted to. They also tried by this means to control souls again and failed. The Anunnaki pyramids were deliberately spread all over the known lands and the other lands. is also another ancient way of colonizing lands. They leave pyramids as a form of a warning of colonized lands, a kind of badge for any intruder entering without permission. It was known that they feared that some colonizing race, or what would be even worse for them, a race that would liberate existing colonies and could exist and come from outside the known Great Dome. So if you see a pyramid, you're looking at that back in the day, and you see a pyramid and you don't know what's really going on, and you just hearing stories, you're like, oh, they come from outside the dome. Don't mess with them. They got the best technology, basically. That's an interesting theory, isn't it? That's probably the most interesting theory on pyramids I've heard since understanding that it's possibly that they can generate power. The Custodians and Anunnaki began to confront again, now for control of the known lands and the human being, specifically the large amount of gold found there. The giants took advantage of these inconveniences of the Custodians and Anunnaki to be able to enter the lands. Many moved from the same islands and from other lands such as the Free Islands, and entered from the north and south of the walls, penetrating the existing domes. The wall surrounding the earth was built by Custodians. Hold on. The walls surrounding the earths were built by the Custodians in the past so that humans would not have the opportunity to reach the inner dome or the first dome, since this discovery would expose the falsity of the theory that was preached without discussion, in addition to the beginning to question several fundamental points of life in the known lands. I gotta show you something. Let me cook, please. Please let me cook. That's all I can do is cook.
This pilot from Yakutia couldn't be believed until he showed this video. Flying over...
Alright. Alright. Could the Custodians made these walls? Are these walls artificial? The walls surrounding the earths were built by the Custodians in the past so that humans would not have the opportunity to reach the inner dome or the first dome, since this discovery would expose the falsity of the theory that it was preached without discussion, in addition to begin to question several fundamental points of life in the known lands. Is it possible, y'all, that they created that? That's a wild theory. Alright, let's continue. The possibility of an infinite Earth could never reach human minds, as this would open up the environment and awaken the thousands of living energies in the human bodies that are numb to the knowledge of their past. Quickly, a great army of giants formed in the Central Asia, and others began to mingle with humans living there. Possibly, the ancient giants knew of the source, which each human being soon doubled in number, having a great and potent great human resistance to the inevitable attack that would come from the Custodians or the Anunnaki when their internal warfare ceased. They continued to confront each other in battles that took place even in their own lands, thus leaving the control of the earth as a liberated zone. These were the boom years of the Great Tartary and the technology based on free energy. The controls of the land was almost total, even inhibiting every corner of the lands. It is said that some Custodians and Anunnaki saw their pyramids fall without being able to do much, since they had to attend their own war. Little by little, they were losing the control that escaped them like water through their fingers. So there was war taking place. It sounds like the Tartarians was the human Delta Force. Like, imagine all humans come together and we're like, all right, man. Imagine all humans come together and we are all on the same page, and we know that there's lands beyond the ice wall. If this, just imagine it, say both of those things were true, then that correct paradigm, I won't say correct, but that specific paradigm makes a lot of sense. It's like Earth's final defense team is what I'm reading. So you guys tell me. It sounds like the Tartarians was out cold. It was like, look, we're not beefing with each other. We're all on the same page. But there might be some lands out there known. So let's try to, do what we can and discover those other 172 worlds. For entertainment purposes only, this is just a book. We're just doing theories and imagining things. But yeah, that's crazy. So it's almost like the Tartarians. Let me read it one more time. Because, I'm not the best digester. I can't read one thing and then it automatically gets, beamed into me like the Matrix, like Jack didn't. No, it takes me a couple times, my reading digestion skills, It says, real quick, just finish it up. Quickly, a great army of giants formed in Central Asia, and others began to mingle with the humans living there. The ancient giants knew of the source with each human. Soon they doubled in number, having a great and potent giant human resistance to the inevitable attack that would come from the Custodians or the Anunnaki. When their internal warfare ceased, they continued to confront each other in battles that took place even in their own lands. Did you hear that? The Tartarians brought the battle back to the Custodian and Anunnaki lands. They said, look, y'all just ain't gonna keep battling, in my backyard where my family is. We're taking it to them. They jumped in their planes, y'all. They jumped in their ships and said, look, we're bringing the battle to you. You're not just about to come in our own lands and fight us. We're not doing that. We're taking the battle to you. That's what it says. Isn't that what it just said? So this ancient war that was going on, that was like, look, man, we're gonna get rid of all these pyramids y'all throwing up, all this reset y'all trying to do. The Tartarians was really trying to defend us, y'all. This was bigger. This wasn't, people thinking this is human on human. This is No, we was all in it together. Black, white, Asian, purple, green, blue, orange, pink. You know, we was on the same team. There was no, you know, the races and, you know, we was the first to do that, and, you know, white, black, all that. Man, we was all on the same team. We had bigger fish to fry. With each human, soon they doubled the number, having a great and potent great human resistance to the inevitable attack that would come from the Custodians and Anunnaki. When their internal warfare ceased, they continued to confront each other's in battle that took place, even in their own lands, thus leaving the control of the earth as a liberated zone. These were the boom years of Great Tartaria and the technology based on free energy. The control of the lands was almost total, even inhibiting every corner of the lands. It was said that some Custodians and Anunnaki saw their pyramids fall without being able to do much, since they had to attend their own war. Little by little, they were losing control, and what escaped them was like water through their fingers. Damn! We got to do a couple more, man. I ain't going to end it there. We got to keep going, man. This is getting good. We starting to learn about Tartaria. This is taking Tartarians to a different level, isn't it? It's not just wondering about who they were. Now we understanding what they did. You know what I'm saying? It's no more just, man, who are they? Okay, we know that they built all these ancient structures and stuff. But what did they do exactly? Well, they was defending Earth. They was defending Middle Earth like Lord of the Rings, y'all. Come on. Where y'all at? We almost got 500 people in here. Hit the like button. What are you doing here? Where's my... Look. There's a reason we got this book, y'all. The greatest civilization ever to be erased from history. You know, we got so much to dig in. This is... Guys, I'm drowning in books. We got so much to dig in. TikToks just ain't gonna... Them TikToks ain't gonna give us all this. We gotta start reading. That's... You know, we gotta start looking at these ancient photos and we gotta start reading, man, because these TikToks ain't getting there. We need more. I want the truth. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. There's people outside guarding these walls. That's literally what it said. Well, if you watch the movie. What wall are they guarding? That custodian wall. That's which wall they guarding. That Antarctic Treaty Wall. That wall. Y'all not ready, man. Hit that like button. What are you doing here? The next chapter. Giant humans versus custodians in the known land. Giant humans versus custodians in the known lands. I'm no scribe. I can't, you know, I'm just doing my best, alright? Jet ski Chuck the scribe out here. When the custodians returned, triumphant from their war, they found that the colony totally revolutionized. Now there was a power they did not expect between giants, giant humans, and angry humans revealing themselves for the years of slavery. These long years of giant humans developing and basing their technology on weapons of war and defense, added to the fact that much custodial information was plundered and used for the development of scientific knowledge, led to the climax of the race. Totally forgotten by the custodians. When they returned and analyzed the situation, they knew they could not carry on another war because of the casualties of the last one and all the expense that had been carried out to defeat the enemy. Obviously, they wanted to start an immediate reset, but the pyramids were destroyed and they had lost their power and manipulation of the environment. Damn, could you imagine the pyramids charging up just so they can hit our firmament and then just doing whatever they did to cause the reset? You know what I'm saying? Like when the pyramids powered up, what type of reset power was selected? What did they do? You know what I'm saying? When the pyramids got all the way charged up, what did they do? Is my question. They thought and analyzed several strategic and waited to see how the conflict with the humans would develop. But fearful of the uncertain future, another war was born in the known lands. This time humanity would fight together with the giants against their former colonizer. The fierce battles were fought and cannot be described because it was really something that generated even fear in many of the other circles. Every day that the sun sets, piles of bodies from both sides were observed laying on the lands that were now only battlefields. There were areas covered by vast and different vegetation that's now nothing more than sand and dead landscape. Damn. Is that how the deserts got created? That's kind of crazy to think about. Like, did the deserts get created because some type of ancient war that took place? Something so devastating they really don't talk about, you know? And it makes you think of that one movie, what was it? Great Wall of China? What was it, with Matt Damon? Great Wall with Matt Damon when they fought all those monsters? Let me show you real quick. Let me show you something. Fire Marshal. Check this out.
Menstrual blood, which
Man, I don't know where it's at. It's probably in this one, honestly.
Talking about.
But we gotta see this war. But yeah, it was that movie, can't play it. But if you ever are interested in this war that we're talking about, I highly suggest you check out the movie Great Wall with Matt Damon. And it just shows how they were fighting those damn monsters on that wall. Oh, is this it? Anunnaki and Custodians they have looked like. Oh, your boy. Just give me a little bit. Let me cook. Let me cook. Y'all, I got it.
So this wall is symbolizing the walls of Atlantis. And the walls that you guys are calling the ice wall is actually a stone wall that was guarded by the ancient Elohim. And when the Zeta Greys came in to invade Atlantis, you were actually at the wall fighting. And so, of course, we started to lose this war. And this is when the Elohim had decreed to freeze the ice wall to destroy all of these creatures that the Zeta Greys were creating to wage war against our people. This is around the same time that the moon had came into position, the Zeta Greys warship, to engage in wars and conflicts with all the Elohim throughout the earth, creating clones and hybridized races to take over the people and establish chiefs and kingdoms all across the land. So these creatures that the Zeta Grays created were designed to attack the walls of Atlantis. And this is why we had froze it all and also put the electromagnetic dome over the Earth to trap their warship here, which is the moon. These Zeta Grays were actually at war with each other and actually destroyed their whole district. And they had to flee and find another place that they could actually call home. And so when they found Atlantis, they seen that it was fruitful, and they seen that it had a lot of technology already there, and a lot of kingdoms and a lot of stuff, established things that were already built already. So they just thought that they could just come and just invade and take it using advanced technology and creating these hybridized species. And so that's what they did. That's why you see pyramids in the Antarctica, because this used to be unfrozen at one point.
Scientists have just admitted that
Yeah. It could be, you know, just a quick depiction. Like all these movies that about aliens, war aliens, there's a little truth in them, man. It's crazy stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie, you know, because it's a good one. The Elohim battles, the Seraphim. Water World was interesting. I never seen Water World. That's something I've been meaning to check out. The Wall of Tartarians facing China. Yes, the Great Wall of China. You guys know what's up, man. Let's keep going. Alright. The Custodians, also weakened by their last war with the Anunnaki, saw... Let me turn it down so y'all can make sure y'all hear it. Alright. The Custodians, also weakened by their last war with the Anunnaki, saw that they were lost all control, even feared that later their lands would also be attacked by humanity. With the thirst for revenge, the opportunity to annihilate the Custodians also left a great peace for the heavenly lands. Everything that was heading towards an imminent victory, but something happened in the middle, and this was never achieved. The Custodians had no choice but to return to the Anunnaki lands in order to reach a new agreement with them. There was not much army left that could resist another war, but technology in the Union was immediately taken in exchange for gold. Among other things that we do not know, but the possibility having to do with the growth of humanity and the fear of the future retaliation. So they scared of the Tartarians. They're like, look, man, they messing with these giants. The giants starting to get technology. They about to come to our home world. Here is worth clarifying that when the Custodians had to leave to unify against the Anunnaki, so the Custodians had to team up with the Anunnaki. They left in command an inferior race called the Greys. Greys have entered the chat. Zeta Greys, them aliens with the dome heads, have entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Or Zeta Reticuli and Orion. Oh my God. They were used to control the Earth while they were gone, but according to the story of the Greys, did not agree with the old treaty and the manipulation received. Then they were unconcerned, thinking that the human beings would never rebel or grow in this way, much less imagine a union with a race of forgotten giants. This accepted as they were also feared losing their lands at the end of the war, even to the giant humans who now had a large army and sought to free themselves from the custodial yoke in the known lands. The inevitable happened. The unprecedented war took place in the center of those lands. The two forces used all the potential and technology that they had immediately put to the test. The giant humans, or rather the great Tartary of free energy, also possessed their own ships. Therefore, the war took place on both on land, water, and air. Damn, they was piecing them up, man. Them airships, they probably had airships. They probably was zooming. They probably was in the water. It says it. It says Great Tartary of free energy also possessed their own ships. Therefore, the war took place both on land, water, and air. Alpha 1, welcome. Unfortunately, the giant human power could not resist, therefore, the harsh battles. Hold on, y'all. I hear this beeping. It's driving me crazy. Hold on a sec, y'all. It was my refrigerator door. What up, Luke? How y'all doing, man? Everybody good? This is hitting, isn't it? Is the music hitting? It's hitting for me. Damn, man, I am sore. I worked out the other day. I'm like, everything's sore. Need a stretch. Give me a second. Your boy is in pain. The muscles is tense. My hamstrings is tight. Ugh. How y'all doing, man? Y'all got any plans for the weekends? Christmas? Any big plans for Christmas? Seeing the family? Save your boy some turkey? Some of that heavenly ham? What y'all guys got going on? Y'all going taking the family sledding, snowmobiling? You save your boy some sugar cookies? Jason, what's up? Melody, it's not information for everyone. Yes, ma'am, you are right. Black Ops 6 zombies. Oh yeah, that's what's up. We need to jump on together. Charles in the building. Luke in the building. Brad. Catherine. No Christmas rituals over here. I hear you, Brad. Loud and clear. My birthday is Monday. Happy belated. Ugh. I gotta make a turkey for my family. It's about 58. Were you deep frying it? Oh, man, my leg is super sore. Did I get enough potassium today? I'm like, I'm getting old, y'all. I'm not a young whippersnapper like I used to be. I lost where I was, man. It's a tough life being a superhero. Rest up, brother. Happy birthday. Jet ski though. I love Florida snowboarding. I love in Florida, so no snowboarding. Oh, you live in Florida. I used to live in Florida too. It's I couldn't do that damn humidity, man. I gotta have my snow. I love the snow. Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of Casper site. We have a small cold for now. I'll take it. Hey. All right, y'all. We about to get back to it, man. Boy, it's sore. Alright, they accepted as they also feared losing their lands the end of the war. Even the great humans, who now had a large army and sought to free themselves from the custodial yoke in the known lands. The inevitable happened. An unprecedented war took place in the center of those lands. The two forces used all their potential and technology that they immediately put to the test. The giant humans, or rather than great Tartary of free energy, also possessed their own ships. Therefore, the war took place both on land, water, and air. Man, they was banging. How tight would it be if we can get a movie? It would never happen. But how tight would it be if we can get a movie of that, man? Like, with like a couple $1 million production budget, real special effects, seeing the Tartarians fight the Anunnaki and the Custodians. Man, that would be tight, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, the giant power could not resist throughout the harsh battles, and not having control of the environment. The Custodians manipulated this cause wear and tear, deterioration in the troops, as well as natural catastrophes that grew out of nowhere in important centers. Although, as I mentioned before, this would mark a before and after in all the surrounding worlds. I knew that if they lost this war, they were also somehow condemning future generations for several centuries. The giants had to escape from the lands, since defeat was inevitable and their death was certain. The Custodians would never forgive the giants for having taken up arms and delivered forbidden knowledge to the humans, managing to escape where they had entered through the north and south passages. Have you guys ever seen Attack on Titan? You know, Attack on Titan sounds like it's based on an entire true story, doesn't it? Like how they had different lands on stuff. I'm telling you, man, Attack on Titan, those Japanese writers, they know something, man. They know the truth, don't they? Some humans followed them, also achieved this long for escape from the custodial yoke. I've watched since you the very start. Intelligent, super poetic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anime speaks volumes when it comes down to telling us what will happen in the upcoming years. Think about it though. Hunter x Hunter talked about the dark continents. What if the dark continents was beyond the ice wall? What's it called? The wars. Hunter x Hunter and Attack on Titan are definitely the two that speak out to me about these wars beyond the wall. Templar Knight with the $4.66. He threw me 369 pounds. Let's go. Do you got a picture of a custodian? Not in this book. I'm not seeing none. They got pictures, but they don't got pictures of custodians. But if we do try to look up a picture of a custodian, look at what we see. Nothing really, man. Nobody. They're mysterious. They're super mysterious. Dolores Cannon did a little something about the custodians, I guess. But she just got regular gray looking UFOs. Nothing that we ain't never seen before on this channel, you know? But my fault, Brad. I'll try to put more, definitely put that in the mission log to see if we can get an actual snapshot of one of them bad boys. Alright, I want to know if they are the High Elves. High Elves, that's interesting. One Piece is all of this. I haven't even seen One Piece. What they got, like 5,000 episodes, something crazy? Yeah, I gotta watch One Piece. Old treaty and the manipulation received. Then they were unconcerned, thinking that the human being would never rebel or grow in this way, much less imagine a union with a race of forgotten giants. These accepted, as they were also feared losing their lands at the end of the war. Even to the giant humans would now have a large army and sought to free themselves from the custodial yoke in the known lands. The inevitable happened. An unprecedented war took place in the center of those land, water, air. Alright, the giants had to escape from the lands since the defeat was inevitable and their deaths was certain. The custodians would never forgive the giants for having taken up arms and delivered forbidden knowledge to the humans. So the giants, the reason we don't see giants anymore is because they was telling us so much knowledge, and the custodians came on Middle Earth, our known lands, was like, look, we gotta get rid of them because these giants are telling them the truth. Taking up arms and deliver forbidden knowledge to the humans, managing to escape where they had entered through the north and south passages. He said it's only 1,120 episodes. Yeah, and the 8 movies in between. 20 movies. Some humans followed them and also achieved this long for escape for the custodial yoke. The ancient souls of Asgard, Lemuria, and Atlantis that inhabited human bodies started from scratch in these lands outside the first dome known as the Ancestral Republic. And although hurt by and hard defeat, they had the hope to grow again and return with new strategies, now with 2 different missions: to liberate the human being and to finish with the custodians. Human beings, so Ancestral Republic want the smoke. They said we're finishing off the custodians and we're liberating Middle Earth. To liberate the human beings and to finish with the custodians. Human beings being in these new lands to connect the source and to understand their true past and importance. Butler interrupted, saying that he had already talked to one of the leaders there and that they did not agree to help us. Not because they did not want to, but because they feared that their entire race might actually disappear, almost happened last time. I told Butler of my concern for the lands of the Republic and also for the lands we had left behind. He commented that he doubted that they wanted to end up with humanity inside the walls since of the resets to date. This seemed to be one that had worked best for them, besides the Greys were also under control and in turn helped to control the humans in many other ways. Since there was a high mind control, basic and fundamental issues were not dealt with, or if they were easily found and reported with some mental problem, immediately sending the culprit to a psychiatric facility where they were easily and successfully controlled by insane asylums. Anyone? All those insane asylums that we see, those old ancient Tartarian buildings? Cabbage Patch Babies, maybe? Imagine if you went back there, William, and wanted to tell everything you experienced here, or the information you gathered. If you had time to tell the others, they would not believe you, and they would quickly send you to a confinement or possibly death itself. At this time, at this that I have heard gave me many answers that I've never imagined I would ever hear, but it also generated many other questions. There was so much to process, and everything was ruining very fast. It was frantic. According to Butler, we should leave the islands as soon as possible. He did not even know his plan as usual. He kept the strategy until the end. We gathered the whole team to leave. We were going to leave the lands of Shiki and also leave behind the brilliant being who had given me the most important part of this puzzle that seemed indecipherable. A master key that has opened so many worlds and possibilities. The lost history of the human being was in my hands. The boys began to ask me about all this talk, and also began to look through the book I was carrying with me. Butler also helped me to understand the thousands of questions that arose, including mine. Between all of us, we tried to make this as logical as possible for our confused minds while the sun went away and a strange night fell on us. One of the strangest in those lands, the sky was tinged with the purest red, and generated a fire-like glow. No, that's not like a firelight, bro. Butler commented that this fire is visible if you sail near the Antarctic ring. It looks like a giant bonfire in the distance. It is something we had even perceived before leaving the known lands. So what I think they're talking about is the Aurora Borealis. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. This thing that's moving. That's what they're seeing, y'all. Anytime you go near the Antarctic circle, you start seeing that. All right, guys. Next chapter. El Arca. The prosperous capital. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one, guys. We definitely need to do some more cross-referencing with Tartaria, the giants. One thing I learned from this book is that the giants that I didn't know before, that I should have known, is that the Tartarians and the giants were working together. You know, that would explain all these giant swords, the giant ring we found. You know, it's lots of crazy stuff, guys. If you made it this far, the code word is beyond the ice wall. That's your boy Jet Ski Chuck. We're gonna be doing this again very soon, if not tomorrow or Sunday. We're putting a pretty good dent in it. About that far. You know what I'm saying? And there's 2 more books after this. We're just reading the first one. Yeah. It's a lot to go over. A lot of cross-referencing, a lot more to do. But it's your boy Jet Ski Chuck. About to get something to eat. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, y'all. Peace out. I'm gonna be back with your boy Jet Ski Chuck, and I'll be back with more creepy and scary, disturbing theories coming